uh, which is kind of challenge you and ask you to go out and live your life in a present moment, not too much worry about the future and not too much think about the past which has happened. Also, asks us and challenges us to live our lives in such a way that before we leave this world, we should have we should leave some footprints of our work and attitude in this world. So I'll be reciting that poem only. So should I start or should I
Uh,
wait?
just a second. Everybody, please put yourself on mute, please. Thank you. Yes, you can start. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Thus, though art to dust eternest was not spoken of the soul. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating, funeral marches to the grave. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, we not like dumb driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Footprints that perhaps another sailing o life Solomon may, a fallen and shipwrecked brother, seeing shall take heart again. Let us then be up and doing with the heart of for any faith, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. That's the actual point.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Had a little bit and decided to do something I'm sort of good at. So I was trained as an electrical engineer. So today I will just take apart an old piece of electronics on the screen, and I hope that's entertaining to people. I'm actually staying at my girlfriend's place, so I found this. I don't know if people know what this thing is. It's an electronic dictionary. So if you grow up learning English as a second language, or you have a lot of experience learning foreign language, this is most likely something you came across. So it's actually pretty cool. It has a keyboard, and then it has a LED screen, and then it has a touchpad even you can write on. So, and before I take it apart, it's actually still working. So we can just, I'll just quickly show that you have a catalog of dictionaries you can choose from, and we can choose Oxford English Dictionary, and then you can search for word, and then this thing even actually pronounces it for you, which is pretty cool. So I don't know if people can hear that, but it has a speaker. So now I'm just going to take this apart on the screen, and then let's see how it's made of. To save time, I already unscrewed the whole thing, so we can take over the cover of the keyboard. Since I've done this like 5 times to practice, so it's almost broken, but it's still one piece. And we take away the battery first as a good approach. So now this thing won't turn on anymore, and we're gonna take away the keyboard. Let me make sure it's on the screen. So this is off, and on the top side of the main body is the the keyboard layout, and then it's this typical kind of old way of keyboard working. You have a rubber panel, which is on top of it. Once you press, the key will make the circuit here got connected, and then like the signal is collected. And you have the touchpad here. It could be take off, but I was afraid I would click it, so I'll leave it on. And then here you have on the corner you have a speaker, and then the major stuffs are actually on the back side of this board. It's a typical like two-sided circuit board where they sort of save space by printed on both sides. So I'm gonna take this off the screen for a sec because there is a little mechanical stuff. Okay. So now finally, I was able to actually take this whole thing off from the main body of the machine. Okay. And then, but unfortunately, the processor is heated, so we don't know what kind of thing this is. But I do actually search all the little chips here. In order to get into that, I actually have a slide to to show a clearer picture on what's going on here. So let me just share my screen for now. All right, so you should be seeing my Friday presentation slide at the moment. I'll just use 1 minute to do a deep dive on what we see on a circuit board. I just take open. So on the front side, it's super simple. You have the keyboard, we have the battery connections, and then the speakers. I'll just get into details on what actually we've seen on this electronic dictionary on the major processors, because I was mostly interested in how much power this thing has, and then how fast it can be. It turned out that it has 64 megabytes memory and it's 16-bit. And for whatever it's doing, which is mostly driving a display and then showing some definition and looking up in the dictionary, I think this is pretty good resource. And then in total, it has a little bit more than 2 gigabytes of flash memory. It has 2 flash memory cards. And then the purple one is 2 gigabytes, which is pretty impressive. And then you can see that on the circuit next to the purple memory card, there is an empty card space reserved. So technically, this whole machine can be on 4 gigabytes of flash memory. So I guess if we spend a little bit more money back then, probably have a more powerful dictionary. So that's pretty much what I want to show, and I hope this is interesting to people.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Dickens.